Daredevil Born Again has just finished its second season after it was rebooted by Disney and officially brought into the MCU. Originally, Season 1 was supposed to be 18 episodes long. However, when looking back at the footage recorded, Disney realised that it wasn't quite working, so decided to go back to the drawing board, bring it more in line with the Netflix series, and split the season into two. So now, after seeing the second part of this one continuous story, I'm happy to say that they've provided us a satisfying follow-up, whilst laying the foundations for a promising future. However, despite this, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 saw a major reduction in viewership. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing why this season worked so well, but ultimately, what stopped it from being a major hit. And just for a heads up, this discussion will contain major spoilers. So, by the end of the first season, shit had officially hit the fan. Wilson Fisk, now the mayor of New York, declared martial law, outlawed vigilantism, and imprisoned any dissidents that his anti-vigilante task force could capture. Season 2 takes place around 6 months later. Matt is now in hiding, but continues to do what he can to disrupt Fisk's operations. Matt is in significant danger, with any sighting of him leading to the imminent arrival from the AVTF, but he receives help from the recently retired Cherry, as well as honest police officers who just want to do the right thing and save the city. Karen had a minor role in the previous season, but now she's back as a series regular, just like she was in the Netflix series. And since Matt and Heather went their separate ways, Matt and Karen have rekindled the relationship. This was quite a surprise to me, as it's been so long since they were together. But I did enjoy the relationship previously, although I do admit that I was a little disappointed to see that we won't be seeing any more of Karen and Frank together, as their chemistry was electric. This season focuses on the war between two factions, Matt and the Resistance versus Fisk's administration. And just like Season 1, Season 2 is highly political. Not only is it a physical war between Matt fighting the AVTF, but it's every bit as much a propaganda war, with either side desperate to win over the minds of New York. Fisk will do whatever he can to control the narrative with his propaganda. One particularly brilliant way that he does this is by hiding his knowledge of Daredevil's true identity, instead requesting that the public helps to find Matt as he's missing. By doing this, not only does it make it so much harder for Matt to get around the city unnoticed, but it also helps to support the narrative that Daredevil is some villainous, masked vigilante. If the public knew that Daredevil was in fact a popular blind lawyer who'd actually saved Fisk's life, suddenly people would start questioning if there's merit to Daredevil's actions and potentially turn against Fisk. But on the other side, the resistance against Fisk are trying to expose the truth about what's happening. Phoebe Urich is secretly running an online smear campaign against Fisk, using information sourced from inside the administration. As you'd expect, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock and Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk are both excellent. They've been playing the roles for so long that I'm no longer surprised when they give outstanding performances. It's just par for the course for them, but it still needs to be said. But someone that I really appreciated even more so this season was Wilson Bethel as Point Dexter. This is the first role I've seen from the actor, which I'm very surprised about, because based on his work in Daredevil, he's fantastic. Ever since Point Dexter was introduced to the show, he's been such a menacing presence. Like whenever he turns up, you know that shit is about to go down. That was especially the case during a brilliant scene at a diner, where he lures in the AVTF and takes them out single-handedly. His ability to make random, everyday objects into dangerous weapons always leads to such creative and fun action sequences. The character goes on quite a journey this season. Not quite a redemption arc, as he's still a fundamentally bad dude, but he's looking to make amends for murdering Foggy. During the season opener, he saves Matt and Cherry's lives, which signalled to the viewers straight away that we're going to see a different side to Point Dexter this season. Or at the very least, he's changed his allegiance. He wants to kill Fisk, as he thinks that this will make up for killing Foggy, who he accepts didn't deserve to die. He describes it as being his one good deed, a twisted way of making up for his mistakes. He's still a murdering sociopath who killed a fan favourite character, but it was such a joy to see him teaming up with Matt this season, and the complex dynamic between the two was a real highlight for me. A show like Daredevil lives and dies by the quality of its action set pieces, and once again, Disney has shown that they've got no interest in watering down the brutality and violence in Daredevil. Whilst nothing quite compares to seeing Fisk crush Commissioner Gallows' head with his bare hands last season, they don't shy away from showing the violence, but most importantly, it's all really well shot and expertly choreographed. As mentioned earlier, Poindexter's scene at the diner was one of the very best of the season, but my personal favourite is the jailbreak scene in episode 3, when Daredevil breaks out the prisoners of Red Hook. The stakes are high, and the tension is palpable, as there are so many innocent people that are in harm's way. But what makes it even better is that this is when they decide to incorporate the continuous tracking shot that the series was obviously famous for back in the Netflix days. Once again, it's spectacular and really elevates the scene. Something else that I really appreciated about this season is that it's a real test of character for everyone involved. We gain a much greater insight into who these characters truly are, and how they've developed as people. Like fundamentally, when push comes to shove, what do you stand for? What are your principles? What will you accept? This is particularly relevant regarding Daniel's storyline this season, who's now the Deputy of Communications. I enjoyed the addition of the character in the first season, with him played wonderfully by Michael Gandolfini. This kid was desperate to prove to Fisk that he can be an integral part of his team, and he would do whatever it takes to convince him. He was able to find that balance between being endearing and likeable, whilst having no problem with manipulating people into doing whatever he wants. But now that he's in a very important role in the administration, we get to see exactly how far he would go to help Fisk achieve his goals. As mentioned previously, Bibi Urich has been leaking information that damages the administration, using a relationship with Daniel to her advantage. Fisk tasks Daniel with sourcing the leaker, with the expectation that the leak will be stopped, permanently. So when Daniel finds out that Bibi is the leaker, suddenly he's stuck at a crossroads. Does he embrace his new powerful role and hand over the girl that he clearly cares about? Or does he let her get away, knowing that it likely won't end well for him if he does? Well, in the moment of truth, Daniel pulls back from his descension into villainy and helps Bibi get away. It was a wonderful moment, a moment of redemption for the character that I'd been hoping for quite some time. But in this brutal world, doing the right thing doesn't always lead to the right consequences. I was gutted to see him killed, even though we knew that it could only end one way once he made his decision. It was a tragic resolution for the character, but in saving Bibi's life, he showed that deep down, he's not a bad guy. However, the same cannot be said about Vanessa, Fisk's wife, who's seen a considerable amount of development since the early seasons of the Netflix series. She's fully embraced the criminal mindset, becoming a monster comparable to a husband. They reveal that it was in fact Vanessa who ordered the hit on Foggy, cemented her place as one of the series' greatest villains. But in episode 4, she attends Fisk's boxing match, despite his pleas for her to stay away, and Poindexter makes an attempt on his life. This ends with Vanessa receiving a serious blow to the head, seemingly killing her. The notion that Vanessa would be killed, essentially due to her ordering the hit on Foggy, was absolutely poetic, and a fitting resolution to a character that had caused so much pain. So when we found out that Vanessa had survived the attack and regains consciousness, I was very frustrated. But clearly, despite her being awake and able to talk, there was something seriously wrong with her. And in a wonderfully cruel turn, Vanessa's condition quickly deteriorates and she dies, leaving Fisk distraught. And I must say, this was the most devilishly delicious way to kill her off that had me genuinely fist pump him. Vanessa was Fisk's whole world, so making him think that she'd survived, only to rip her away, was beautiful. And the fact that it was Fisk who inadvertently shattered the glass ornament that fatally wounded Vanessa? Chef's kiss. Fisk has always been unhinged, but for the most part, he had Vanessa to keep him in check. He didn't want to lose her. So with Vanessa now dead, I was fascinated to see how Fisk would react, and with him immediately murdering the surgeon who tried to save his wife's life, this signalled to the viewers that we're about to see Fisk descend to a whole new level. As the season progresses, Daredevil's army of resistance expands, leading to Jessica Jones making a reappearance. I really enjoyed her character in the Netflix shows, with Kristen Ritter such a perfect fit for the role, so it was good to see her join the resistance. The season finale centres around Karen's trial, who's charged with aiding and abetting Daredevil, and this is undoubtedly the best episode of the season. Fisk is called to the stand, and in a play to finally take down the corrupt mayor once and for all, Matt shocks the world by revealing that he is in fact Daredevil. It's been a long time coming, but I still wasn't prepared for it. What a moment. With Matt now able to corroborate Fisk's crimes, the case is dismissed and Karen walks free. But this moment of joy is short-lived when the courthouse is locked down after Poindexter foils Fisk's plan to assassinate Matt. Inspired by BB to rise up, the people of New York storm the courthouse to confront Fisk. And this moment is beyond epic, as Fisk completely loses control and starts taking people out. At the same time, you've got Matt, Jessica and Angela fighting the AVTF until they reach Fisk. Daredevil supporters overwhelm Fisk, almost beating him to death until Matt intervenes. Fisk simply can't handle that he's lost, but Matt convinces him to leave New York once and for all. They've been going at it for years now, but it does seem like the journey has finally come to an end. Frustratingly, it looks like Fisk won't pay for his crimes, which I am a bit surprised about, as we did just witness him murder quite a lot of people. Luke Cage returns home to Jessica, with Poindexter taking his place working for the CIA, a move that is just so perfect for the character. BB is hired by the New York Bulletin, whilst Matt and Karen try to move on with their lives. But as is typical with this show, they throw us a curveball, with Matt arrested and imprisoned for his actions as Daredevil, with him now forced to live with so many criminals that he'd taken down, including the ABTF. So it's a bittersweet, but unquestionably fantastic resolution to a really strong season. Because of that, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 gets 2 thumbs up from me, as it's certainly worth watching. Whilst I personally don't think the Born Again seasons have quite hit the crazy heights of the Netflix seasons, the audience reception to this arc has been really positive, especially towards Season 2. I mean, if you just look at the IMDb ratings for each episode, they're consistently high, and the critical reception was also largely positive. Despite this, the viewing figures were disappointing, with Comic Book Resources reporting that viewing figures had dropped 50% since the first season. So why is this? If the viewers are enjoying it, then why aren't more people watching it? Well, I think there are a few key factors. Firstly, Marvel is no longer at the peak. There was a time when they would be releasing banger after banger. Almost everything was top quality and a massive hit. But that's not been the case for years now. People simply aren't as excited for Marvel content anymore. Also, Daredevil Born Again is a reboot for the character, but it's very much a continuation from the storyline set up in the original Netflix series. So this is essentially the 5th season of Daredevil, and it's perfectly normal for TV shows to start off strong and then see the viewership gradually fall. Not every series can maintain the viewership for years, or even expand its viewership, like Breaking Bad did. Speaking for myself, there are plenty of shows that I've enjoyed, but then as the seasons went on, I eventually just stopped watching, like The Walking Dead and Rick and Morty. And realistically, how many new viewers are going to tune into a show if it's already in basically its 4th and 5th seasons? I know I wouldn't. Either way, whilst it's still good, I'm going to keep tuning in. And thankfully, the next season is already being filmed, so I'm glad that we've got another season to look forward to. So, what did you think of Daredevil Born Again Season 2? And why do you think it's received such low viewing figures? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.